Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. Happy Thursday. My name's Michael Jimenez, your host from 12 to 2. And this show, Halftime, we're on the road. We are at the South Texas RV Super Sale at the Freeman Coliseum, the expo hall behind the Coliseum. And today, my co-host is Rob Thompson, who wishes he was here with me.
Oh, man, I am jealous. I'm jealous, man. You're at the motherland. You've found what the end of the retirement arc of the rainbow goes to. It lands like right there. That's where the pot of gold is.
Dude, you don't understand, man. I'm about to spend $100,000 without asking my wife's permission. I posted a video on Twitter and on Facebook of an RV that I fell in love with. It was $95,000. But Pledger, describe what the inside looked like.
You were doing that video and you asked me to retweet it. So I went to go retweet it. And I was like, why? You're just tweeting something from in your kitchen. Like, it looked like you were in your own kitchen.
Dude,
I was like, oh my God, he is in an RV.
That is James Pledger producing this fine show. You know, I was inside there. I mean, we're talking about wood paneling, a refrigerator, a sink, a dining area. They had 3 big screen TVs in there.
Stainless steel stove.
It looked like an apartment that would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars in New York or in LA. I would live in there. That is so nice, but that is just one of dozens that are over here, Rob. Man, I'm just taking a look, going up and down.
Now,
some are 30,000, 35. Others are up to 200.
Would you rather have the nicest towable and have a separate, you could separate with a truck, or would you rather have the all-inclusive family truckster?
The family truckster is probably it, but that's also probably the one that costs more, man. So,
I'm sure it is. But, I mean, there is the benefit to unhooking and having a vehicle to kind of leave.
Exactly.
I don't know which way. That's kind of the way I'm leaning.
This is the type of camping that I would like. Okay, this is where the idea of me being out in the woods with a with a tent and trying to pitch that thing up and be out there, that's old school, man. I stopped doing that in the 80s when I was a kid and I was out camping with church, man. That's the last time I'll do that. But this right here, I mean, this is full on luxury. I mean, this is the comforts of home. And I was kind of surprised, Rob, because when you said, hey, go out to the RV Super Sale, I was thinking to myself, I'm not going to be too excited about that. But the second I walked in, I was like, oh, my God, where has this been all my life? But
that's cool. Now to get in a van or pull a wagon and go to hit the camps. I mean, the van life, it's now kind of a hip thing to do.
It is, man. And, also what I do, I'm also a financial advisor, and I have a lot of clients, one of which who bought an RV for $135,000 this week. I now see what he's buying, and now I want to borrow it. I sent a picture to my wife of a lot of the different RVs, but the one that I loved, and she says, now we need the vehicle to tow it. So that wasn't a no. But now I'm thinking to myself, do I want that rental property that I have, or maybe sell out and buy this thing outright?
Well, no good hobby doesn't need something next week.
Exactly.
It's a good rule of thumb. If it's a good hobby, you're going to need something else next week.
Oh, my God, dude. I am so in love. But, man, we're out here. The RV Super Sale is going on again at the Freeman Coliseum at the Expo Hall. It's all week. It's through Sundays, so today's hours, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Today they shut down at 6, but Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. By the way, if you're in the area and want to check this out, come say hi to me because we have tickets to the All-American Bowl. We have a 4-pack along with Whataburgers. These are physical tickets, not the ones that we're going to email you. These are physical tickets. You need to come by, say that you were listening to the show, and come by. I'm in the very, very front, and we'll give you a 4-pack. The first 3 people get a 4-pack along with the Whataburgers. But good times, man. Halftime again goes from 12 to 2. We're on live not only on ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM, but we're on Facebook and YouTube as well. Go ahead and feel free to leave us a comment or two. And my handle is at Mike ESPN SA. Pledger's at I Am Pledger. And Rob, always forget your handle. It's at Rob Thompson ESPN, correct?
That's it.
But welcome to the show. Lots to talk about today. Obviously, we'll be talking about the Spurs. They snapped their 4-game losing streak. I'm now convinced Dejounte deserves to be an all-star. A lot of COVID news going on right now. Aaron Rodgers Find out what he has to call a certain news reporter, a certain sports reporter out in Chicago. That's going to be at 12:30. At 1 o'clock, we're talking more NFL. We have a lot going on today, but we're starting off with breaking news involving the Dallas Cowboys. Yesterday, we had breaking news in the fact that Micah Parsons was out because of COVID. I know a lot of us said, hey, better now than next week, right? Because he can miss this game and come back for the playoffs. But a new name has come out. Pro Bowler left tackle Tyron Smith has tested positive reportedly for COVID. And also cornerback Anthony Brown is also out because of COVID issues as well. Rob Thompson, deal or no deal? Big deal or no deal?
Huge deal. But, McCarthy's in the same position he was because Philadelphia is, while we're dealing with a few, they're dealing with a lot. Well, so far I know of at least 12 positive tests. Now, maybe 1 or 2 might be able to test back in, but it doesn't look likely. On the other side with them, win or lose, no matter what happens with them, they're a last seed road team playoff. They're going on the road. It doesn't matter. They can't affect their outcome at all, whether they win or lose. Cowboys, if they win and get a little help, they could launch to 2, but it doesn't look likely. So the question has been what McCarthy was going to do anyway.
It's important to at least get to 3 in my eyes, because the longer you can go to avoid Lambeau, the better. Okay, because again,
that's true.
The NFC runs through Lambeau. Now, last year it ran through Lambeau as well, but Tom Brady won over there in Green Bay. But I think the Cowboys have a legitimate shot of going to the NFC Championship game if they are the 2 or the 3 seed. Don't have to be the 2. The 3 seed, I think they'll be perfectly fine because, again, Tampa Bay is beaten up. You have the Rams, who have a Matthew Stafford at quarterback that I'm not a big believer in. I'm a big believer in some of these this offense that the Cowboys have, that they can get it going. And, of course, you can see when they get takeaways, they win. But the fact of the matter is that right now, this is the opportune time for the Cowboys to go through this, because can you imagine if this had happened next week? Can you imagine if Micah Parsons missed a playoff game because of COVID, or Anthony Brown or Tyron Smith? The fact of the matter is that right now this is the opportune time because, again, they can recover and come back. So all in all, it might be a good thing in the sense that these guys are getting rest. All in all, because as you mentioned, a lot of Eagles players have tested positive as well. The Cowboys don't necessarily need to be at 100% to win this Saturday night. So all in all, I don't think it's the worst news, but you don't want to hear it because when someone gets COVID, you don't necessarily know if they're asymptomatic or if it's going to linger on and need to have a reconditioning thing going
exactly.
on.
This is, the old, get it now while it's light, do the 5 days and get yourself back. I don't want to play that kind of roulette. Here's some numbers that come from ESPN regarding where the Cowboys sit. They're currently on the number 4 seed. According to a variety of ESPN figures and facts, variety of bureaus, they have a 93% chance to end up at number 4. Micah Parsons is on the COVID list as we sit right now, and add Tyron Smith to that. The other number, as we look forward to the Cowboys, and I don't know what to take from this. You play who's in front of you, but the Cowboys 5-0 against their own division and have a losing record against everybody else.
It is what it is, Rob. And here's the thing is that I am actually optimistic about the Cowboys because I think I look at it pretty objectively. I am not a Cowboys fan. I actively cheer against them. I just know that they're the one team you do not want to play in the playoffs because it's a hard out. Their upside is so huge that they can beat anybody on any given Sunday, which makes them dangerous. It's the same thing with the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC. That's the team I don't think anybody wants to play because they can go toe-to-toe with everybody. I mean, think about it. When you have an elite quarterback, when you have a good running game, now the Bengals have a better running game than the Cowboys, but at least the Cowboys have a two-headed monster there. When you have competent receivers and a good defense, you can win on the road. Mm-hmm. All of that travels. And because of that, I'm still optimistic about the Cowboys. If they can somehow wiggle their way to the 3 spot or the 2 spot, I still believe they're going to the NFC Championship game. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I think that they can do that if they can get 3 or 4. If they're the 4 spot, they're out in the second round.
All right, so let's talk about rest versus rust. Without Tyron, obviously you're going to be hamstrung, but you're used to this. I mean, the Cowboys have played a lot of games this year without Tyron. How far do you take those starters? How much do you play them?
I would play the 1/2 and
Play
probably
them a
no
half?
more than that. Yeah, I know there's that argument about 1/4 versus 1/2 or not at all, or the whole game. I think a 1/4 to the full first half would be good enough for me. I mean, think about it. Think about it this way: the Cowboys played Dak Prescott when they were down by 30 points to the Broncos early this year. And I argued against that, but the whole reason was, well, they need to have a rhythm going into the next week. They need to get some wins. Why is it different in week 18 compared to, say, week 8?
It makes perfect sense to me. I believe you can come out of whatever slump or however you want to define the slump with Dak and that offense. I think you can come out of it in practice. Now, there are some things that you have to be able to do in a game, and those are the things that I run on Saturday night. I run the things that I can only work on at game speed. And once I see that could be a series. It might only be 8 plays. But I want to see what happens when I do this. And if I see effectively what I need to see for who I expect to see would be the Cardinals, then I'm in good shape. I'd let everybody sit and let's just finish this thing out. But I do think that they need to try and get some offensive work. I think you run the starters as if they're going to play all week long. They're practicing like they're playing 100 snaps. I mean, but the fact of the matter is they might only play 8 or 9, depending on how far the script goes. And then after that, let's just finish this thing out and then all fall into a bubble and stay completely healthy for their first home playoff game.
You know, I think the loss to the Cardinals could be a blessing in disguise. I mean, more than anything else, because it's hard to beat a team twice. We saw that last year with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was beaten by the Saints twice last year, came back, beat them in the playoffs. So it's very hard to beat a team multiple times, especially on the road. I know Kyler Murray is undefeated in that stadium, but man, he is due for a bad game there, right? He is due for a loss at some point there. But I cannot believe, Pledge, that I am somehow being a Cowboys apologist, but I still believe in them. I still believe that they can go at least 2 or 3 rounds here, get to the NFC Championship game. But again, avoid the 4 spot at all costs.
Don't worry. In no time, probably by the start of next season, you're just going to, it's our year.
Revert?
You're just going to be like, it's our year. You're going to go full Cowboys fan on this, and every year is going to be your year right after the Super Bowl and free agency.
Now, Quinn Hudson needs to trademark that because he says that every conversation about the Cowboys, it's our year, baby. It's our year. 1-15, it's our year.
Every Cowboys fan. That's
Very
not just
nice.
Quinn.
Hey, Spurs fans have an opportunity to be a little bit optimistic these days. A little bit. I mean, the Spurs have lost 4 games in a row, and it was one of those things where it's like, what did those 4 games have in common? They had in common that Dejounte Murray was not playing, but he is back from COVID, and man, he looked good. He looked so good yesterday that I am now convinced that he should be an all-star. And almost, he flirted again with a triple-double, 22 points. He was, I believe, 1 assist shy of a triple-double. The Spurs won 99-97 in Boston against the Celtics. I will say this, Rob. It was the most fun game the Spurs have had this year. I'm not saying it's the best win. The best win's probably Golden State. But it was the most fun win. It rivaled that Utah game where it went down to the wire. Jaylen Brown missed a layup with about 2 seconds to go. Very well defended by Dejounte and Jock Landale. 2 minutes before, there were back-to-back defensive stops by Derek White. He stopped Jason Tatum. He stopped Jaylen Brown. And the Spurs willed their way to a victory, 99-97. It was fun. Again, I still cheer for the Spurs, even though I want them to have a good lottery pick this year, and I don't want them in the play-in tournament. But it was fun, and of course, I was cheering for them.
Yeah, a couple things. Jockstrap. You have really one job on the inbound pass to end the game. Really, there's only one thing you can't do, and that's throw it to the other guys. So come on,
Did he actually throw it to the other guys? Because it looked like he handed it off to them. That was one of those things that let's file that. You don't get to do that anymore. You almost gave the damn game away. Jaylen Brown with the hanging Chad layup. Boy, that hung up there a long time. A little bit too long for my taste. So we managed to squeak one out. Man, I'm with you. Dejounte's our best player. There's no question. It is his team. They are his dudes. And they played like his dudes last night. Everything was up a notch. They cut quicker. They move faster. The defense gets to their spots quicker when Dejounte's there. What a pleasure to see a team play for their guy.
I mean, that we haven't seen that in a couple years. We saw it amped up when Dejounte is there. The difference between what we've seen and what we saw for the last week was amplified. The dude is valuable.
There was an intensity there because he's on the court. I mean, the fact of the matter is that the last 2 minutes was pretty epic because of those back-to-back stops by Derek White. But beyond that, Derek White winning a jump ball with 15 seconds to go in the game. The ball going out of bounds. Dejounte Murray grabbing the ball, throwing it back towards the half court. I'm thinking to myself, that's going the other way. Somehow, Jock Landale ends up with the ball. And I could not believe that entire sequence there. Then, as you mentioned, the steal right there, the terrible inbounds pass. But, man, Dejounte did just enough to alter the shot. And Jock Landale missed touching the rim for an offensive interference by about, a millimeter? I mean, a hair? How did he not touch the rim? He was that far above the rim, ducked his hands underneath it.
He had a FIBA flashback.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You can grab it off the rim, right?
Get ready to grab that one and run to the locker room. Yeah, at least he realized in midair.
It was good times, man. I enjoyed that game. Again, the Spurs, it's one of those things where as I cheer for them to go into the lottery this year because the Spurs need more talent. Because when you're in the lottery, you get better talent, and you can tell that by how Devin Vassell played last night, how he's been playing the last month, the entire season. That is one of our lottery guys, and I think he's earned that starting position. I don't think that should be taken away. When Doug McDermott comes back, I'm sorry, Vassell should still be starting.
That's a hot take.
You don't think so?
No, I don't disagree with you entirely. And there's a couple of things that I do think on a slightly alternate path. Do the Spurs need more young talent? Absolutely. Every team does. But there comes a time when you need a mix of talent and experience. And I think we're reaching our max with young talent. And now, no matter what we do this year, we're going to be back in the lottery, land right about where we were last. I don't think there's going to be much difference from where Primo was. But after that, it's time to start looking for other things to fill the gaps. And one of the way you fill those gaps is some of your young guys going to have to sit the bench and learn a little bit. And I think the team right now might be a little bit better when McDermott plays. I like the way the game is spaced, but we're better defensively without hesitation when Vassell plays. And if Pop came out tomorrow and said Devin's earned the gig over Lonnie, over McDermott, I'm starting him, I don't think anybody would question it. But I do like the stacking of Vassell coming off the bench because I like the spacing that McDermott offers. And maybe the fix to that would be when Zach Collins finally, if he ever does, take off that boot and start playing with us. Maybe that'll be the spacing that will allow Vassell to come in and take that job. It's a chemistry thing at that point. But he's earned the minutes. There's no question, man. He's just got to learn how to stack those games.
No, man, I think he's a starter for good. He should be a starter for good because right now, I think he's the Spurs' second best player. He's not the second most important player. I put a poll out earlier this morning asking that question. Who's the second most important player on the Spurs roster after Dejounte Murray? And 44% voted Jakob Poeltl. And I agree with that because defensively, Jakob Poeltl is bringing more to the game. Offensively, he's actually becoming more aggressive, which I enjoy. But when it comes to Devin Vassell, his ceiling has not even been reached, man. He's not even close to his ceiling. I've said it before. I see Sean Elliott in Devin Vassell. I see shades of Kawhi in Devin Vassell. He's a nice little hybrid of a lot of these different things that we've seen in the past. And I don't want him off the court. I don't want him coming in. Start the best five and figure out the rest. The Spurs are deep enough.
You finish with the best five. You finish with the best five.
I mean, I know Manu never started
with starters, and you finish with your best five. Big difference.
Devin Vassell, though, I'm a huge Vassell fan. Huge Vassell fan. He is the one player that I think right now, out of the young core, other than maybe Dejounte, that I think is the untouchable one. But Spurs, again, broke their 4-game losing streak yesterday. Let's get some headlines in. Here's Pledge with the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
All right, guys. Well, Antonio Brown's drama continues to circle around all of everything that we are. Of course, we all know about his incident last weekend in which he jumped off the field after throwing his pads to the ground and his gear into the air and cartwheeled his way into the tunnel before taking an Uber home from the stadium. He has since released a statement. In that statement, he says that he couldn't go back in because he was injured. He has a broken bone fragments, a ligament torn from the bone, and loss of cartilage in his ankle, according to an MRI, and that he couldn't play through the pain. And he's also upset that they mischaracterized his outburst as a mental health issue rather than refusal to play due to pain. Well, the Bucs have since now released him in the latest twist to this story, and AB is taken to Twitter and Instagram to let everybody know exactly what he thinks. I have sent you a lot of those things between Alex Guerrero and him, or Bruce Arenas screenshotted texts with him, or Tom Brady and Bruce Arenas photoshopped into a Home Alone.
Bruce Arians?
Yeah, Arians.
The head coach of the
What
Tampa.
am I saying? Arenas? Yeah, sorry, Arians.
Not Agent Zero, but the head coach of the Tampa. You know, this is the problem. He might be marginally in the right as far as injured and being asked to play when he probably shouldn't be. I don't know the protocols there. I know that that's pretty common in the NFL. Not pretty, but very. And I imagine there's a lot of guys that were standing out on the field wondering what was going on with Antonio Brown with the equal amount of issues that he was dealing with. Now, pain tolerance and ability to play, that's something I don't know. And he might lose end his career on a place where a lot of players wouldn't have had to end it. But because of what he had done to get here, it's over. And now, Tom Brady, the one guy in the world that looked out for this cat, the one guy that pulled him from the gutter, he's turned on him now too. Am I to make that out from the Instagram dealing with his trainer and his TB12 stuff? It sounds like he's even turned on Tom Brady. Well,
yeah, this can all be true. He could be hurt. Bruce Arians could be wrong. The coaching could be wrong. Brady could be wrong. Everybody could be. He could be absolutely correct in everything he's saying. But the fact of the matter is the way that he acted gives him no leverage, gives him no benefit of the doubt. He was a complete jerk coming off the field. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the theatrics, right? Of course, I loved watching it. I loved the jumping jacks in the end zone. I loved him leaving his jersey. It was very dramatic. I love it all. But you can't do that and then say, now take me seriously. Okay, that doesn't work that way.
And just be a generally bad guy by every measure.
Exactly.
You get zero benefit of the doubt. None. So these theatrics, somebody around him needs to get him away from the socials because it's just going to get worse. And you don't want Tom Brady to start to not liking you. Things happen to you when that guy stops caring.
Moving on.
Headline 1.
First round of voting returns are in for the NBA All-Stars, and noticeably there is a certain franchise absent from that list, that being the San Antonio Spurs, meaning your Dejounte Murray prop up to be an All-Star. Gonna have to work a little harder, San Antonio, if we're gonna vote him in.
We didn't actually. Do you have the numbers?
Yeah. What do we have current standings? Because I was led to believe, as of like 2 days ago, that he was kind of in a position to be a starter. But either way,
Dejounte was in position to be a starter.
Yes.
The latest that I have when it comes to it, I don't think I have the number. Yeah, I do have the numbers. So, looking at the guards, Steph Curry with over 2.5 million, Luka Doncic with 787,000.
Well, there's the two guards.
Ja Morant with 669. Klay Thompson with 367,000, Devin Booker with 338, Chris Paul with 315,000, Spida with 217,000, Damian Lillard with 211,000, Russell Westbrook with 210,000, and Anthony Edwards with 128,000. By the way, that guy that couldn't get enough votes for the Spurs last year, DeMar DeRozan, He leads guards with $1.47 million for the Eastern Conference.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Who deserved it more? DeMar DeRozan last year or Dejounte Murray this year? Because I would say that Dejounte Murray this year deserves it more than DeMar did last year. DeMar at the time was 22-5-5. Dejounte now at about 18-8-8-2. Most triple doubles in the NBA right now. Dejounte does deserve it, but like you said, there's so many in front of him, including somebody, Klay Thompson, who hasn't even played a game this year.
Well, that part's this is a popularity contest. I mean, I when we talk about this, I always feel like I'm downgrading how good Dejounte is, and I'm not. The guy's our best player. But when we judge him as an all-star against who he has to play against, he ends up 7th in a lot of polls, and legitimately so. But there's nothing wrong with being 7th behind the 6 that are in front of him. Those guys are really, really good. But as far as the beauty contest, shoot, we don't got a prayer. I mean, DeMar is the example. Now, DeMar has hit a couple of game winners and been, front and center on Sports Center a couple of times this year, so that helps in the vote. But he's in a big market now. There's a lot of Bulls fans out there.
And 26 points per game will also get you up there as well.
Well, that's only a couple more than last. I mean, 4 more points. It's not like he is making this huge difference more than he's going with the Bulls. It's just the market he's in and a couple of very good last-second shots right before All-Star voting picks up. So,
I mean, he did that in San Antonio, too.
And being in a big market certainly amplifies all of that. So, but it certainly doesn't mean that he's any worse there or better there than he was here. He's the same player. He got better.
He got better playing here, yeah.
But he's got more. He's got a lot more room to work in Chicago.
He was good before he came here too.
He was good. He is all around good now, Michael. His game and his ability to distribute on top of what he does scoring now is different. He sees the game differently now than he did then. He plays a different type of game now than he did then. It is more well-rounded, and I do believe that DeMar is better for it.
And to play the way that he does, he's got the trust of Ball and Levine to go get it when he needs to, and if he can't, he'll kick it. And I don't think that was always DeMar.
Headline 0.
We'll close things out. Staying in the association, Zion Williamson. You remember him? A little blast from the past.
Vaguely.
I remember the name.
Former number 1 overall pick, jumped out of his shoe at some point during a Duke game. Well, he continues to rehab from his fractured foot. The New Orleans Pelicans announced. What they didn't announce was where he is continuing his rehab to come back from this fractured foot. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the former number 1 overall pick is getting a lot of his work done in Portland, Oregon.
Please explain.
If I'm going to draw a parallel to someone who's rehabbing outside of the team's doctor's watchful eyes, there has been lots of speculation of whether Zion is starting to initiate the ways to get out of his current situation and into another. We know somebody quite well down here who did something very similar.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Have there been reports that he's been, dissing the Pelicans the way that Kawhi did the Spurs? Is he avoiding them?
But there have been some talk from his family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's a terrible franchise. I can see why you'd want to get out. It's not like it's a franchise that has any chance of being remotely relevant anytime soon, with or without him. So I can see him wanting to get out that way. I don't know if this is an excuse, because this dude is forever hurt. And this isn't something that is a misdiagnosis or anything like that. The guy's just damaged goods, man.
Here's the question, and this is the real question in all this. If you can't get and keep a star being a small market team, what's the point? Like, what's the fix if they're just going to try and get their way out anyway?
Milwaukee has gotten and kept a star and won a championship. San Antonio got it. I don't think it's as difficult as we think it is. I think the difficult time now is you could get a star You can be a superstar anywhere in the world if you're alone.
Mhm.
It's getting those mid-level guys that are trying just to get to, a little bit more and a little bit more pub. It's the small market. Those are the places where you have to overpay. You have to overpay to get those mid-level guys where, LA and Chicago and New York and the bigger markets have enough money and enough of the media pie to go around where those mid-level guys can be fat and happy without having to be LeBron. So that's where the problem comes with small market teams. If Zion could live up to his potential, he could stay in New Orleans and be exactly what Giannis is. But they'd have to win some games, and you have to convince some other folks to come. You could be alone in a small market and be as big a superstar there as you could be in LA. You just can't be the second fill. There's not enough media pie there. So it's not about that. I think that as much as Zion might want to leave, I think New Orleans feels about the same way about him. It's kind of an albatross around their necks, too.
Agreed.
So I will say this. I don't think that they're pulling a Kawhi, but there's something afoot when a player is rehabbing outside of the watchful eye of the franchise. That's never good. We'll just leave it at that. But if I'm New Orleans,
the 4-1-1 and a 2-1-0.
I wouldn't be upset about him leaving. There's no etouffee on the corner in Portland.
Yeah, and to call New Orleans a small market is kind of interesting because I guess technically it is because only 250,000 people live there, but it's also a place that's a destination town. So it's kind of it's a small market with a big market appeal sometimes. But Rob, when we come back, I predicted this, man. I predicted that this would happen, that Aaron Rodgers, that his MVP season would be jeopardized because he wasn't vaccinated. And now a report's coming out saying that there's a certain voter out there who's saying that. And now we're hearing from Aaron Rodgers. And when we come back, hear from him, he is pissed off about this. At 1 o'clock, we're going to talk about what would a Tim Duncan statue look like at the AT&T Center. Let's think about that. What would it look like? This is Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and we're on the go at sasportstar.com.
San Antonio Sports Star Pro Football Pick'em. Online at sasportstar.com. Can you pick the perfect matchups all season long? If so, you could win $50,000. Weekly winners score gift cards to Pinkerton's Barbecue in the Mellow Mushroom. For official contest rules and to play, visit sasportstar.com. Must be at least 21 years old to play this nationwide contest. One winner will be selected at the end of the season. The Pro Football Challenge from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Jason Minix here for Garageanization. You've heard me tell you about their shelving, overhead racks, and storage systems to make your garage functional for the entire family. If you have issues with your garage, call 210-664-4494. Have them come out and give you a free consultation. Garageanization couldn't be a better choice. A veteran family-owned and operated business for more than a decade. Give them a call at 210-664-4494 or go to the website garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
I need postcards printed and designed. Oh, and a targeted direct mail campaign.
It's possible at Staples.
I need my presentation printed, bound, and perfect.
Also possible. Your local Staples store can help your business navigate the future of work with custom printed sales and marketing materials. Now get 25% off custom printed labels, postcards, flyers, brochures, and more when you spend $60 or more. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 1/29 in store only. See staples.com/print for details.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can really control your savings. Because when you drive less, you save more with pay per mile. So you're really in control of your savings, only paying for the miles you drive. Yeah, life is good when you're in the driver's seat. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Norfolk, Illinois.
You probably wouldn't leave thousands of dollars on the table at a diner. Why leave thousands on the table with your tax return? Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you don't. This year, there are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits. Your Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro will help you track down every last one, so you get your biggest refund guaranteed. Don't leave thousands on the table this year. Discover thousands of dollars in tax credits instead. Learn more at jacksonhewitt.com.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and worn out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-707-8989. 800-707-8989. 800-707-8989.
Jason Minix here for River City Oral Surgery. If you need your wisdom teeth out, a tooth pulled, dental implants, you need to know about Dr. Mark Havercorn at River City Oral Surgery. He offers direct patient care, so you don't need a referral. You simply call, make an appointment, and all prices are listed on the website. That's one of the great things when you go to rivercityoms.com. Even if you have dental insurance, River City Oral Surgery will probably still be less, and all prices are all inclusive, including your post-op care. You know exactly what it's going to cost you before you go in. Free market medicine is the way to go. You know what you're going to pay, and you know you're getting the best care. People drive from all over the state to see Dr. Havercorn, who is an oral surgeon. He's a specialist medical doctor, and he treats people of all ages. Call 210-778-0002 or go to the website rivercityoms.com. rivercityoms.com.
Get the latest on what's happening on the NBA hardwood.
Behind the back dribble to the rim and the flush.
Right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250, 94.5 FM.
Welcome back to halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. We are live at the South Texas RV Super Sale at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Rob Thompson's home right now at his home studio, wishing he was here. Rob, I was gonna go get some snacks right now, but next to the prices, it says how many calories each one has. It always turns me off, man. I'm like, oh,
yes, why do they do that? I know
Frito,
it's the right thing to do, but not at a snack bar. I know what I'm doing.
Frito pie, 810 calories. I'm like,
do I
really want to do that?
It's only
really want a
810.
Frito pie? Yeah, that's what it says over here.
It's under 1,000. I'm under $1,000. I round down. It's like 500, really. At the end of the day.
Exactly. I'm walking to and from the parking lot.
Yeah,
so I'll take off some calories.
I'm going to be going up and down some stairs, in and out of these RVs all day. I'll work all this off in 15, 20 minutes.
Exactly. The South Texas RV Super Sale is open today until 6 p.m. Open Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday from 10 to 6 at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. This is where you want to spend a good chunk of your 401k, man, if you were me anyway, because good Lord, these RVs are amazing, man. I fell in love with one that was $95,000. My wife is now on Facebook talking to her friends about it, saying that they want to go glamping. And I'm over here thinking to myself, when I'm in the doghouse with my wife, I'd be like, all right.
Just go out back.
I'll just go out back, baby. I'll just hang out with my RV, man. So it solves lots of problems here, man. But welcome back to halftime. We go from 12 to 2. Sports, pop culture, nostalgia, controversies as well, man, because, the Green Bay Packers, the number one seed in the NFC right now, number one record. Everyone's saying that Aaron Rodgers is a shoe-in for the MVP, right? But I've been talking about this for weeks, that there are going to be some voters out there who don't want to vote him in. Because earlier this year, Aaron Rodgers missed a game because he's not vaccinated. He kind of lied about it. He said that he was immunized, and we all took that as being vaccinated, but that wasn't the case. Well, some recent developments. There's a football writer in Chicago for ChicagoFootball.com named Hub Arkush, And he says that he will not vote for Aaron Rodgers because of Aaron's anti-vax stance, saying, quote, I don't think you can be the biggest jerk in the league and punish your team and punish your organization and your fan base the way that he did and be the most valuable player. He says he's going to be voting for Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, and or Tom Brady. That being said, Aaron Rodgers had something to say about it.
I think he's a bum. I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum. He doesn't know me. I don't know who he is. No one knew who he was probably until yesterday's comments. But I mean, and I listened to the comments, but to say he had his mind made up in the summertime, in the off season, that I had zero chance of winning MVP, in my opinion, should exclude future votes. His problem isn't with me being a bad guy or the biggest jerk in the league. Because he doesn't know me. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know anything about me. I mean, I've never met him. I've never had lunch with him. I've never had an interview with him. His problem is I'm not vaccinated. So if he wants to go on a crusade and collude and come up with an extra letter to put on the award just for this season and make it the most valuable vaccinated player, then he should do that. But he's a bum, and I'm not going to waste any time worrying about that stuff. He has no idea who I am. He's never talked to me in his life. But it's unfortunate that those sentiments. It's surprising that he would even say that, to be honest. But I knew this was possible. Talked about it on McAfee weeks ago. But crazy.
He's a bum. An absolute bum. Wow.
I think he's a bum.
I absolutely love it, Rob.
So do you agree with
does he have a point?
Do you agree with it? Do you agree with the writer? Do you agree that, dude, you said you were vaccinated or immunized or whatever the hell you said you were. You lied. You have, since the beginning of preseason, told everybody around you that you were probably leaving. You dangled being a talk show host over being with your guys. You finally showed up. You played great football, and then you had to disappear for a game or two because of your vaccination status. So you didn't act like most MVPs act.
No, that writer's wrong, man. And I'm going to tell you why. The fact of the matter is that Aaron Rodgers is one of the best players in the NFL right now. He has led his team to the number one position in the NFC. Did he cost them a game? Yes, he did. If you're going to say that you don't want to vote for him as MVP, but you're going to put him off the ballot completely, two different things. You want to put him second, third, fourth, or fifth and punish him a little bit because of that, by doing that, by saying, no, you're third because of this. That's fine. But if you're going to leave him off the ballot completely, then that writer is completely wrong.
Now, I got a question for you here, and this is through my prism. This is how I first took, what's this guy's name, this writer for Chicago football?
Hub Arkush.
Hub Arkush. When I first heard him talking about why he wasn't going to vote for him, and he didn't say vaccinated. And I'll be honest with you, it didn't cross my mind. It was everything else. It was calling out his own team, calling out his general manager, saying he might not come back, saying he might not play this year, almost holding out. That was what I thought he was talking about. Not until literally when Aaron said he doesn't like me because I'm not vaccinated, did I include vaccinated on the list of the many other reasons why he's kind of annoyed me this year. I didn't think about vaccinated. So
you had to read between the lines.
But that's just me. That's why I'm saying I didn't take that. And in my mind, it was almost enough without the vaccination status for him to have something at least to stand on. Now, I completely disagree with him. This has nothing to do with anything other than what happens between the lines. That's what this award's for. There's the Man of the Year trophy, and there's all kinds of other awards that we have for what's going on away from the field. But on the field, anything that goes on that does not, is not to the detriment of the game does not matter. So, the guy's an idiot. Go right for baseball. That's a baseball take. That's a baseball thing. Go talk Pete Rose. Go over there and deal with that. That's not what football does. It's not about how good a guy you are. Now, we've had John McClain on, who is very much a part of the NFL Hall of Fame and works with the veteran committee, and he's been more than he'll tell you, yes. It's not supposed to, but it does matter. Behind the scenes, when you're arguing to get people in, were they good guys, does matter behind the scenes. McClain doesn't necessarily believe that.
What makes this funny is, where's this guy from again? He's from Chicago. And
Hey,
didn't
that's
Aaron
Bear
Rodgers earlier this year say, I own Chicago. I own the Bears. So, I mean, if this guy was writing for some St. Louis newspaper or Phoenix, I would take it a little bit differently. But because this guy is from Chicago, and that's the number one rival for the Packers, I'm sorry, I can't take it seriously. Just can't.
Well, I don't think anybody does, quite frankly. I know why would you come out and do that other than be self-aggrandizing? But I will say this. I will say this as far as Aaron Rodgers goes. Every time somebody says something negative about you, you don't get to throw up. It's your vaccine shield. You don't get to just throw up, oh, you don't like me because I'm not vaccinated. No, I got plenty of good reasons not to like you, bro.
Yeah, but
so no, I'm not saying that he might be perfectly legitimate and throwing this one out. There might be something that I don't know, but I can tell you this: when he said all of that, that applied before we found out that he wasn't vaccinated. Everything else applied.
When Aaron Rodgers says that this is not the most valuable vaccinated award player, he's right. He's absolutely right. Now, another standoff going on right now is down under. In Melbourne, Australia, the number one player in the world, arguably the GOAT, Novak Djokovic, he's somewhere in a motel right now in Melbourne because he's not allowed in the country because of his vaccination status. Now, we're talking about somebody who has 20 majors. We're talking about someone who has won the last 3 Australian Opens, and I believe it's like 9 for his career. Who's going to win this standoff here? Because he says that he was given an exemption, says that he's not vaccinated but was given an exemption, and the Tennis Association is saying, what are you talking about? Who's going to win this standoff?
Well, that's not going to be Djokovic.
You don't think so, man?
No, man. He's going to be
I
out of
have
the
a hard
country.
time believing that they're going to make a decision on this on Monday, I believe. I have a hard time believing that they're going to tell their back-to-back-to-back defending champ that he can't come in. I think magically there's going to be some sort of exemption, and they just won't
I don't
get
think
into
so, man.
it. If this was any other player, there's very few players who are bigger than their sport, right? Which is why Aaron Rodgers can get away with certain things, which is why Novak Djokovic can get over certain things. Now, one of the funny things about Djokovic is that he has 20 majors, and he has a winning record against Nadal, a winning record against Federer, but very few people consider him to be the GOAT, even though he has the numbers. He has won the Grand Slam twice. That doesn't happen, man. But it's because he has a personality that's very abrasive, and people don't like him. So it's weird. It doesn't matter how many Grand Slams he gets. A lot of people will never consider him to be the GOAT, even though I believe he is. I'm a big tennis fan. But I'm telling you this, man, when the tournament starts on January 17th, I will be shocked, amazed, if he is not on the court over there in Melbourne.
Prepare to be shocked. This is much bigger than tennis. The Aussies in particular, pretty prickly about their stance regarding immunizations and the way they're handling COVID. They've clapped back at Senator Cruz. Now, it's easy pickings, but we're talking about Australians clapping back at senators. So this is – I don't think Djokovic realized the geopolitical storm that he was getting himself into by trying – I don't know. First of all, how do you get into the country if he's not even supposed to be there?
And he even tweeted, by the way, there's a tweet 2 days ago where he is in front of a plane saying, I'm on my way to Australia. I was given an exemption. So he tweeted this 2 days ago.
But I think he was given an exemption by the WTA, not by the Aussies. The Australians said, well, wait a minute. No, we're not letting anybody in. I think this is above his pay grade. I'm not sure you're going to see him playing. I will be surprised.
Hey, when we come back, another COVID issue. When we come back, the Super Bowl's supposed to be in LA this year. But there's a chance. Are you saying there's a chance that it might be at Jerry World in Dallas? When we come back, I'm going to ask Rob, where would he rather go for the Super Bowl, LA or Dallas? At 1 o'clock, we're talking about statues. Dirk Nowitzki got his yesterday. What would a Tim Duncan statue look like? This is halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and we're on the go at sasportstar.com.
It's heart-stopping, rim-wrecking, ball-arching action.
Ball three, got it!
College hoops are happening, and we've got the action and excitement you love. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I'm James Pledger, and in the NFL, with COVID numbers on the rise again, the NFL is covering its bases as they and the Dallas Cowboys have spoken and are looking into AT&T Stadium as a potential backup site for Super Bowl 56. The Dallas Cowboys placed star rookie Micah Parsons on the COVID-19 reserve list, which puts his status in jeopardy for Saturday night's game against the Eagles. In college football news, the Texas A&M Aggies replaced defensive coordinator Mike Elko, who became the new head coach at Duke. According to Yahoo Sports' Pete Thamel, the Aggies are finalizing a deal with Ole Miss defensive coordinator DJ Durkin to take over the same role at A&M. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs snapped their four-game losing streak with a 99-97 win over the Boston Celtics last night, as Dejounte Murray returned to action to lead the Spurs with 22 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and three-time champion.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith talks about joint pain.
Trust me, I know about joint pain. Sure, I made it look easy, but if my body could speak, it would say, I'm in pain.
Are you living with chronic joint pain? Knees, hips, lower back, shoulders? Don't just assume the old treatments are the only treatments.
I've gone under the knife to get rid of pain, but now there are options, and you need to check them out.
Emmett's talking about QC Kinetics, exciting new natural biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints. New options now available here.
You can encourage your body to actually heal itself with the help of QC Kinetics.
Real relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics for regenerative restorative treatments with lasting relief.
But now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
Start now with a free consultation at QC Kinetics. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Call today, 571-0318.
Find your next amazing getaway at the South Texas RV Super Sale. Hundreds of RVs, every shape and size. Small pop-up campers to spacious motorhomes, toy haulers, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more from South Texas' best dealers. RVing will change your life. Fall in love with the unexpected joy of the No Limits RV lifestyle. Check out a free seminar. Never stop looking for your next big adventure. Discover RVing at the South Texas RV Super Sale, Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall, today through Sunday. Doors open at 10 a.m.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their three massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redmond Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and worn out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-707-8989. 800-707-8989. 800-707-8989.
Peloton is ringing in the new year with so much new. With a Peloton bike, you get access to new classes, new music, and artist series. Get ready for fast, fun workouts with Peloton Boxing. They've also got new artist series. There are more than 100 artist series classes to pick from. For a limited time, experience it all with a $550 value offer on the Peloton Bike Plus, including $300 off the Bike Plus and free setup and delivery. A $250 value. Terms apply.
Which teams are postseason bound? Which teams will screw the pooch and blow their chance? Which will get in with a miracle win? And how could COVID mess everything up? Get the latest from around the league and stay connected. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio's home for sports talk is right here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Tennis with Rob Thompson and James Pledger. Rob, in 38 days, it'll be Super Bowl 56. I've been begging you for press passes for the longest time. I don't have any hope anymore, man. I've given up. But in about 5.5 weeks, you will be at the Super Bowl, and it's supposed to be at SoFi in LA. And but word has come out that the NFL is asking Jerry Jones and the Cowboys to have Jerry World ready, the AT&T Stadium over there in Arlington, to be ready just in case. Now, Rob, since you're going, which would you rather go to? Would you rather go to Jerry World or would you rather go to LA?
I would prefer to go to Dallas, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the Super Bowl is I'm busy. I'm working. I know Dallas. It would be easy. And I don't think it's that far out of the realm, Mike. I think that we're probably hanging at about 50-50. And while this is not, trust me, the NFL just didn't look at the news this week and go, maybe we should have a plan B. There's been a plan B in place since the summer. We have a plan B and a plan C. They're playing a Super Bowl, and it's going to be in an open state. So obviously Texas and Jerry leads the way, but it doesn't mean it'd be the only place. But looks like the building's available.
I think your odds of 50-50 are right on. I would not be surprised if this decision comes down in the next couple of weeks. But I'll tell you which one I want to go to, Rob. I want to go to the one that has the pre-Super Bowl concert because, and this is the other reason why I want to go to the Super Bowl, is because the pre-Super Bowl concert is Machine Gun Kelly and my girl, my celebrity crush, Halsey, the Thursday before Super Bowl in L.A. Let's move that over to the Toyota Pavilion in Dallas. It'll be a great weekend, man. Be a great weekend. But Halsey's my girl, man.
Sure. I'm in.
We have another hour of halftime to go here on the San Antonio Sports Star. We are live, by the way, at the RV Super Sale, the South Texas RV Super Sale at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. We have tickets that we're giving away over here. Come by and say hi. Tickets to the All-American Bowl that comes with Whataburger as well. We have another hour of the show to come. When we come back, let's talk about Tim Duncan here, maybe Manu and Tony, because Dirk Nowitzki was just given a statue yesterday, where they unveiled a statue of him, and it got us thinking about what would a Tim Duncan statue look like, or a Manu statue, or a Tony Parker statue. We have some ideas percolating here, and would they even want that? But we have another hour to go of halftime here on the San Antonio Sports Star. We're on ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and we're on the go at sasportstar.com.
I think he's a bum.
I can't wait to watch you guys play.
We're ready for y'all.
Let's go.
The NFL playoff picture is coming together.
Let's go. Let's go.
Are you ready?
You got to go out there every play and earn it.
Hear it unfold on San Antonio Sports Star.
I like it.
We're serving up all the biggest games you can handle.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Get all the action live on San Antonio Sports Star.
180. Wait up.
ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well,
trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Small businesses are the backbone of America. Yet when it comes to workers' comp insurance, you rarely get the savings you deserve. That's because insurance companies tend to lump you in with other businesses, and you can get overcharged. At Pi Insurance, we're on a mission to change that. With Pi, you get a quote specific to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. If you like savings, take 3 minutes to see how much you could save at trypi.com. Pi makes workers' comp insurance as easy as pie, with friendly representatives just a call away. No wonder customers rate our service excellent on Trustpilot. You work hard to build your business and keep your employees safe. You deserve more from your workers' comp provider. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote today at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
Exergen would like you to know about an important new study by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has always known. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate, and they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Michael Jimenez. Halftime.
Yeah, baby, it's hour number 2 of halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. We're live on Facebook Live and YouTube. Just search San Antonio Sports Star. Like and subscribe. Rob is in his kitchen, his home studio. I am live at the South Texas RV Super Sale at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. You know, Rob, you see those commercials like around Christmas time where it's like someone buys their wife a car. It's so unrealistic, right?
Oh, yeah.
It has the ribbon on top. I tell you what, though, if I put a ribbon around some of these RVs, some of these luxury RVs, I think my wife would love it. Absolutely love it.
My greatest fear would be that I would buy something equal to an insurance policy, let's say a life insurance policy. And to pay it off, she might decide, I'm not needed anymore. Exactly. I'm no longer required. And she gets the RV and I get a box.
I was talking to a sales guy over here, and what's funny about it is that a lot of people are coming in and starting to fill up over here, and no one's being really pushy. It's really nice.
They don't have to be, man. People are lining up to get these things.
Yeah, it sells itself, man. Because the sales reps are just standing back. If you have any questions, just ask them a question. But for the most part, they let you walk by, just check them out. But these are like traveling apartments, man. Traveling luxury apartments is what they look like. I was talking to this one sales rep. There's one called a Montana, and it typically goes for about $115,000, and it's off this weekend for $25,000. So it's down to $90,000 for that particular RV. But it's amazing. We're talking about, we're talking about waterproof flooring that you would find in homes. You have the big screen TVs, a queen size bed, taking a look at these cabinets. I mean, it's luxury on wheels is what it is. And again, If we got one of these things, and my wife says that she,
You
kicks me
sound
out
like
of the
you're
house,
trying to sell me.
be
You sound
okay.
like you're trying to sell me. You don't have to sell me.
Sell the public, baby. Come out
You-
here. Freeman
I think you're trying to
Coliseum.
sell your. No, I think there's one person that you're trying to sell, and it's neither
Myself.
James or I. No, not you.
I'm on commission over here. But again, the super sale goes on till it's all weekend, man. So it's all the way through Sunday. Today closes up at 6 o'clock, but Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sunday from 10 to 6. But it's good times. I got myself a pretzel, man. I finally figured it out. No to
How
the
many
Frito
calories?
pie. 440 with the sauce, with the cheese
Oh,
sauce.
respect.
See,
All right, there you go.
I know who he's trying to sell. Is that why you want me to pull this specific segment so that I can send it to you to play back for your wife later?
Exactly. I know she's probably watching from home or from work, rather. It's interesting because you take a look at these things, and I don't look at them as an expenditure. I look at this as an investment. I mean, these things, they probably
They go up in value, right?
They probably hold their value. I'm not saying they go up in value, but they probably hold them because to me, this is like traveling real estate. It's beautiful. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some out here that are more basic, that are going for $35,000, but there's others out here, 150, 170,000, that will just knock your socks off, man. But
even the just standard ones are remarkably well equipped.
They are.
I've been looking around a fair amount. This is when I was your age 10 years ago, it wasn't that cool.
Right.
The only people that I knew that wanted, and I've always wanted one. So the only people that I knew that had them just had your basic, fifth wheel that they took down to the beach. They took down to the beach, they fished, but it wasn't anything that they were going like driving to Yosemite.
Well, this is
now,
glamping. This is not camping.
Yeah, now people are, putting everything together, wagon training up north and disappearing for a month. I mean, things have changed significantly, and so has the technology with these things. There's good deals to be had, and these things aren't quite as delicate as they used to be.
No, I'm taking a look at one right now. It has a built-in barbecue pit type of thing. You just pull it out, and you can start grilling right there. Take a look at signs that say 0 down payment. Man, so that $500 I was going to put down.
Woo! There you
I'm
go.
already ahead of the game here.
Just take that money to the track. I mean, that's free money.
And a lot of these companies here are locally owned. We've seen some from Bernie. We've seen the Ancira people out here as well. But again, it goes all weekend long until Thursday, until 6 o'clock today. Again, 10 to 8 tomorrow and Saturday, and 10 to 6 on Sunday at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. By the way, if you're in the area, stop by. Not only can you take a look at these RVs, but we have tickets to the All-American Bowl that come with Whataburger as well. Come by, say hi. The first 3 will get a 4-pack of tickets along with the Whataburger as well. So come on by. We're in the very, very front. But let's talk some sports, man. We're going till 2 o'clock. And the thing about it is last night was kind of a tearful moment, man, seeing Dirk Nowitzki have his jersey retired. The Dallas Mavericks arguably are the Spurs' biggest rival.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where I don't think Spur fans hated Dirk Nowitzki. I think we kind of respected him. He was
absolutely we did.
Absolute respect. And he had his jersey retired. It was put up to the rafters there in Dallas. And they also unveiled a statue of him doing his trademark backstep or his fadeaway, if you will. And it was a touching moment. He basically held in the waterworks until the very end. And it was nice seeing that out there. And like I said, he goes out a champion. He won that championship. If for those of you who forgot about this, if it wasn't for Manu Ginobili hacking him from behind in the Western Conference Finals, I mean, man, the Spurs won 5 titles. Arguably could have won 8
I don't
or
want to
9.
get in. See, when we talk about Dirk, I don't want the fact that the title that he won was because of LeBron and his Magic's crap in the bed, or a call at the rim that probably was wrong. But the fact is, they went and did it. And Dirk, I have as much respect for him as any opponent we've ever played against. I miss the rivalry from the Mavericks. I miss getting ready to play against Dirk because you knew it was coming. They are still our biggest rival, but it's not what it was.
And I said arguably the biggest rival because, as we see on YouTube, the Drew Show says, Mike is crazy. The Spurs' biggest rival will always be the Lakers. Dallas? No
that's
way.
Different. No, that's different. Lakers are a different kind of rival. That's different.
It's a different type of rival because do they consider us to be their number one rival? I'm sorry.
No, this is a district game.
Rivals. Exactly.
It's a district game, man. The Mavs are a district game. We hate them because we see them every year.
Yeah.
And they're up the road. This is a district game. They're by district. That's someplace else.
So, again, congratulations to Dirk Nowitzki. Obviously going to be a Hall of Famer. But I was taking a look at that statue, and I was like, man, we don't have any statues here in San Antonio. And you mentioned this on R&R in the morning this morning, where you're talking about how there's no Tim Duncan statue or one for Tony or Manu or David Robinson or George Gervin. I guess those would be the 5 Spurs who arguably could have one. But what would a Tim Duncan statue look like?
See, my argument was, the first half of his career was the bank shot from 12 feet off the wing. He was the last guy to use the bank on a regular basis. When he came out of Wake, that's what he did. He was a wing player, couple dribbles. If he went baseline, it was coming off the glass, an easy bounce a la George. Or if you defended the baseline, he was spinning toward the lane and going to yam it on you. That's what he did when he got to the league. And my picture of Timmy is 99 bank shot off the glass. That's me. That's what I would like to see represented.
I would agree with you on the fact that is his trademark shot, but then you would need to have a backboard on the side.
You're right. I don't know how
a statue of a backboard. So I've been talking about this over the past hour, and a lot of people are mentioning this on our Facebook and YouTube streams. It has to be Tim Duncan doing the pregame holding of the ball.
That's right. I can see that when he wraps. That's a good one. Perfect. I'm with you.
Would be. I think that would be very, very. Because that's the way that we visually see him. I mean, that's just.
No, I agree with
you. He did that every game because, we can't articulate with a statue how a bank shot works from 12 feet out, right?
No, you're right. But when I think of him, if you want to do a singular statue of him holding the ball at midcourt, wrapping it, that's it.
Now I got one more for consideration.
Tell me.
Remember, I think I pass by this every day in your office, Rob. That title with Tim and David holding each other. Each one arms raised.
That's why the problem with starting a statuary, a pantheon, is when you've delayed, there are so many things that need to go into it. Now, kudos to the Mavs for just let's go ahead and get this done. Let's get it started. I mean, we put the most obvious in now. Now they can reach back into lore and into their history, and eventually Rolando Blackman might end up with a statue, or Brad Davis with his fro might show up over on the side. But for the Spurs, there are so many worthy, entrants into this, and you want them to have their own individual accolade along with those groups. So you want David to be in there, and he probably would always be alone. But I can't imagine having some sort of statuary where we don't have something where it's David and Tim, and we don't have something where it's the big three with Tim, Tony, and Manu, and then we got to have Pop in there with one or all of them. So because we're getting before we get started, we need so many things to decorate this place. It's going to be hard to put in the first one without going, well, what about him and what about that? What about her?
That's next level, man, because the Spurs have had, these jerseys up in the rafters, but, you can debate whether Bruce Bowen belongs up there or Avery Johnson, but you can say we retire your jersey.
Oh, this is a different level.
Statue is next level.
Yeah,
but, the other thing that you could do for Tim Duncan is him at a fax machine, because he faxed in his retirement announcement. So we can use that. But the easy one, though, is Tony Parker. Tony Parker can have the teardrop, just have him with his hand up in the air. I would love George Gervin to be on the ice throne. I mean,
he's got to be in the chair with him. Yes,
or the finger roll,
or the finger roll with his hand
Manu. Wouldn't that have to be him blocking James Harden?
So
that would be. But I don't want to see anything of Harden. I don't mind seeing Manu with his hand up over the top of a ball. I don't want, unless it's just like the shade of a shaggy beard somehow appearing. But for Manu, whatever statue it is, it would have to elicit motion and activity. When I think of Manu, I just think of hair waving and movement. So you'd have to find some way to involve the Euro step or some kind of speed where you'd have his hair flopping in the wind. And when he was in his early years before he started the Hair Club for Men and then the retreat.
Now,
would it be Manu with hair or would it be Manu without hair?
Oh, it's hair,
Manu. Hair. You got the mullet. Manu mullet, man. You got to have that going on. You have to have as much nose as you have curls in the back. It has to be an equal amount of percentage. It comes.
Would a Greg Popovich statue be smiling or be upset?
Oh,
or would it be the Doc Brown, or would it be the closely shorn? Would it be bearded or non-bearded? I mean, there's a lot of pop looks. He could be Gandalf at some point before he leaves.
So it's fascinating because the Spurs. You have all those jerseys up in the rafters, and as I mentioned, you have the statue area, as you call it there. That's for the elite, but then you can have other jerseys up there. I'm debating whether or not there should be other numbers up there or somewhere around the AT&T Center honoring other players who've done various things. Because when I walk around the arena, you see things like Johnny Moore, you see things like Larry Keenan and whatnot, but there needs to be an area, maybe I haven't seen it, that dedicates it to Robert Horry in the 2005 finals. That because, I'm sorry, but I went back and watched the end of that series. That was all Robert Horry. I mean, Robert Horry won that series.
Game 5.
And there's... Go ahead.
Well, no, he's a merc. He's not a Spur. He was a mercenary. I will love him forever.
Kawhi Leonard.
He gives us as much. Well, Kawhi never. I mean, Kawhi gets his just desserts. He's getting it. That's fine. I mean, he was a brief part of our history, and so was Robert Horry. They're not. No, I'm not going to do anything for Horry. I think I will forever remember and thank him for Game 5 and what he did in that series. Yeah. But let's not be too giving with the accolades. There has to be some barrier to entry.
When's Rod Strickland's statue go up?
Well, we have one. It's him standing in a hallway dropping a towel. It's not one you want to see.
Rod Strickland. That's a blast from the past. We could have a Willie Anderson one of him having his toe on the line. That'd be a good one.
Just have the Sean Elliott recreated poster that I found. The one you had in your bedroom.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, Rob. Growing up, I had a poster on my walls. My favorite poster. It was of Willie Anderson, Rod Strickland, and Sean Elliott in tuxedos on top of a Pontiac Firebird. And it was called the Triple Threat. And Pledge found it. And if I want to get it again, I had to pay like $400 on eBay to get it. But so I'm never going to have it again.
That's the thing of the past.
Yeah. Hey, Rob, what did you have on your walls growing up?
I had the ice poster. I had Farrah Fawcett.
Dude, did everybody have Farrah Fawcett?
Yes. It was in the 12-year-old issue pack.
I had Carmen Electra.
See, I mean, that was just the next generation. But I had the Iceman. I had Gervin. I had Ice. I had Farrah Fawcett. I had a Dr. J poster that I can still kind of picture of him kind of soaring up there, but that was about it. That was about it. But the posters of the team, I remember one where there was a bunch of the Spurs standing around a fighter plane, and they were like Top Guns, and it was like John Paxson and John Sunvold and those guys.
John Sunvold, man.
So you don't see like Lonnie and Derek and Dejounte standing on a plane like we're the Top Guns. They don't do that anymore.
No, but we have the banana boat photo from back in the day with Boris.
Maybe
Diaw.
That's why they don't do it anymore, because of the banana boat photo.
That photo needs to be somewhere at the AT&T Center. Just those are the glory years, man. When I think of the Spurs glory years, I think of not only the on-the-court stuff, but the off-the-court stuff. Their HEB commercials were iconic, but also the photos of Boris Diaw with his wine. The Halloween party photos of Tim Duncan and Tony Parker when they're staring down somebody dressed as Joey Crawford. That was amazing. But man, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be like Cowboy fan right now. Cowboy fans live in the glory days of the 90s and the 70s. And 20 or 30 years from now, I'm going to be talking about the Spurs, aren't I? I'm going to be talking about them the same way the Cowboy fan talks about Troy and Emmett and all those guys.
White Snake?
I had Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. I had an Alvin Robertson, White Snake, David Robinson. What did you run out? Did they not have a warrant one? A winger? I mean, come on, man. White
We're
Snake?
obviously of different generations.
Very cool. Hey, man, let's get some headlines in. Pledge 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411. in the 2-on-0. Headline 2.
We'll start things off today with some breaking Spurs news. San Antonio's adding some depth to their backcourt, as according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the Spurs are signing veteran guard Tyler Johnson to a 10-day contract.
I like Tyler.
What do you like about him?
He's a serviceable NBA guard. A lot of bounce. Arizona, athletic kid. He's not a long-term fix, but of the guys that are available out there, I think he's as good as any. That'll be our second guy, right?
Yeah, it would be. It's kind of interesting. I know a little bit about him, but it's just one of those things where I just hope it doesn't get to be the situation like it was in Detroit, man, where they had 8 guys on 10-day contracts. But having 1 or 2, it's kind of interesting because it's resurrecting a lot of these careers out there for some of these guys in the G League or some of these guys who were left off of waivers, man. But not expecting much out of him, but he's just a body to fill a seat.
Yeah, remember his time in Miami? They were he's an effective NBA guard. Is he a long-term fix? No, but none of these guys. Lance Stevenson went out and got 20 last night, so make hay while you can. This is a chaotic time in the NBA. You can make a move right now if you can just stay moderately healthy. The teams you're playing against are decimated. If you can keep things together, you can pick up probably 3 or 4 wins that you wouldn't have gotten, but for just being healthy.
I like Quinn Hudson's post right here on Facebook Live. He had Vanity on his wall, along with Ice on his Iceman on the ice throne, Michael Jackson off the wall, and the 78 Cowboys team photo. Vanity, Apollonia, you are a man of sophistication and culture, my man. Good call.
He's been purified in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
I was a Susanna Hoffs guy myself back in the day.
Bengals. Respect. I saw them play at UTSA.
Really?
Under the sombrio. Yeah.
Dude, Susanna Hoffs right now, I think she's still in her mid to late 50s right now. She still throws that heat, man. Still has that fastball working. Good times.
Make you walk like an Egyptian?
Some way. Next pledge.
Headline 1.
NFL teams could be losing draft picks very soon if they ask the wrong questions to the prospects. In a memo obtained by ESPN that was sent out to clubs, the league said that a team would forfeit a draft pick between the 1st and 4th rounds and could be fined a minimum of $150,000 if it's determined a club representative displayed conduct that is disrespectful, inappropriate, or unprofessional during an interview. Fines and/or suspensions of individual club employees could also be imposed, according to the memo. Also, as we look at it, they are trying to do away with the Wonderlic test.
As they should.
You don't believe in the Wonderlic, huh?
No. That's a pointless exercise.
No, it's not.
What on earth does the Wonderlic have to do with anything you are drafting your football player to do?
No, man. I'm not saying that there's 100% correlation to a high Wonderlic score and you being successful, but I think there are certain patterns that are in the Wonderlic there that you will find when trying to read a defense, when trying to read a playbook. It's not designed to tell you how smart somebody is. It's designed to tell you whether or not they recognize certain patterns. And
I agree with all of what you're saying, but that can be quantified in a lot of different ways. And what I don't like is how the scores are leaked. I don't like knowing that guys blow the Wonderlic.
Russell or Vince Young.
That serves nobody's purpose. And you do borderline on EEOC claims. You do borderline on some stuff when things come out. So, my question is, one, why is that even available to be publicized? But what on earth has happened in the last couple of years that has caused the NFL to go, look, stop it or you're going to lose draft picks? The fines are insignificant to me, but the draft picks are irreplaceable. So somebody is really worried that the questions or the tactics that are going on in these interview rooms are getting way out of hand.
And what is the line being crossed? I mean, it's all subjective.
Well,
we talked about it earlier on R&R. When Des Bryant was to be drafted, a coach we don't know from where asked him if he knew his mother was a prostitute or what do you think about his mother being a prostitute. Well, my gosh. Obviously, that's wrong, but that was a decade ago. We're just now doing something. So what has escalated to the point where the NFL's like, look, If you do it again, it's going to cost a number 1 draft pick. Can you imagine coming out and say, well, last year when you had X player into the interview, you ask him this. And it was either this or he sues the league for, employment law issues. So
how do you prove
obviously
it?
things got out of hand.
How do you prove it? Are these interviews done on tape? Are they done on video? I mean, I'm certain a lot of this is done by phone or Zoom or in person or whatever the case may be. I don't see how. I mean, I think this is a threat, and obviously should be taken seriously. But I don't see them ever punishing a team for this.
Well, obviously they're concerned, or there wouldn't even be the issue or the penalty. Obviously, there has been something that was worthy of a fine or a penalty that they did not have the ability to give. So now that they do, it'll offer. You're right. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but obviously there's enough worry there to publicize this well before the draft and the process.
Moving on.
Headline 0.
There may be some discontent in Cleveland, guys. Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield is reportedly unhappy with the team's play calling and could seek a new home this offseason. If Mayfield doesn't get reassurances that things will change next season, he'll consider asking to be traded. This, according to Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com. According to Cabot, Mayfield felt that head coach Kevin Stefanski's play calling didn't always put him in position to succeed or to play to his strengths. Mayfield has recently gone onto Twitter here in the last 30 minutes and denied said rumor, saying, clickbait, you and many other Cleveland local media continue to be drama-stirring reporters with no sources or facts. Don't put words in my mouth so you can put food on your table. I'm not your puppet.
I mean, who exactly has leverage here?
Yeah, this is an interesting turn. It's an interesting turn of events, isn't it? Like, you kind of felt like Cleveland had all the hand, and suddenly Baker's like, well, maybe I don't want to play for you.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, Baker Mayfield is an average quarterback. And that means that only a handful of teams will really want him, because only a handful of teams will consider him to be an upgrade. And the ones that are worse than him are typically young quarterbacks. Is he an upgrade over Trevor Lawrence? Well, yeah, maybe for this year, but not for the long term. It's the same thing can be said about Darnold, about a lot of the younger quarterbacks out there. It's not like he's a really good player. And right now he's on a 1-year contract right now, or 1 year left. So, man, I don't buy it at all. They're gonna stick together somehow. He's gonna get picked up as a 5th-year option, $20 million. It's a cheap deal for the Browns. The Browns can't get anybody better, and he can't go to a better situation. So they just have to learn to live together.
Until he hires OBJ's dad
210
to make a video, I think everything will work out. I feel bad for Baker. I think he was forced into some situations that he probably shouldn't have been forced into. This was his 4th offensive coordinator and coach in 4 years. I mean, this guy has gone through, or 3 years, as long as he's been with the Browns. I can't imagine that Stefanski's gone. Maybe he is. I don't think they're going to fire him. So that at least he'll get a little bit of continuity. But I do feel like he has been asked to do and at some points put himself into situations that were just unwinnable. I don't know why they allowed him to fly in after being on the COVID protocols without any kind of practice at all, still hurt to roll in and play a football game. That wasn't good for Baker. That wasn't good for Cleveland. It wasn't good for the coach. It wasn't good for anybody. That was a terrible idea. So
what does he
I think
need?
both sides have every right to be upset with each other.
I mean, what exactly does he need on that team? He has a decent offensive line, not a great offensive line, a decent offensive line. He has some weapons at receiver. He has 2 extremely good running backs in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Exactly what do you need? Is he basically saying, I have the parts, but I need a better coach? Or is it that he needs more weapons out there? What's going to make him better? At the end of the day, he's an average arm, and he's undersized.
He's undersized.
That's what he is.
But that no longer applies, man. The undersized quarterback was a narrative that I think is very quickly going away. So that does – you're right. There's no getting around the numbers for Baker. But I don't think they have given –
Undersized is a thing if you're not elusive. I mean, you can be a Russell Wilson and be elusive. You can be a 6-foot guy and do that and kind of wiggle your way through.
Well, Drew Brees wasn't elusive. I mean, you can teach a guy. I mean, he is an exception. I'm not going to kid yourself. But the idea of what the size of the quarterback, I think the argument isn't quite what it used to be, because OCs have figured out how to get the quarterbacks in space. Is it going to be an issue? It always will be. I mean, Baker deals with it. So does Russell. Every game, they both deal with it, but we just learn to look past that for the other things that they can do. But I have been firmly on Baker's side. I have been from the beginning. I felt like he's done things to his own detriment, though he was trying hard. Like, I think there were several games this year he should not have been in. And they should have not let him play. It didn't help anybody for him being in there. But the expectations were so big. Now, if he can get some continuity, maybe it will work. But if he has decided to grab the tiger by the tail and say, enough of this talk about whether you're going to keep me, who says I even want to stay? To me, that's a very interesting turn of events, and kudos to his agent for maybe kind of grabbing the narrative just for a second to say, maybe there's some other people out there that want me. I don't think that's the case, but maybe that is in fact.
The other narrative that can be pushed is that he's one of the few quarterbacks to have at least some success in Cleveland over the past 25 years. Pledge says he has some breaking news. What's going on, my man?
Let's do it.
This is breaking news from San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, the Spurs are in, I'm not going to say dire straits. But they got hit with some bad news heading into that game against Philly as Johnson, McDermott, Vassell, White, and Young all out due to health and safety protocols. Walker and Kaycock still questionable reconditioning.
Well, they're going to
say all those names again. Say all those.
We don't have enough to play.
You've got Johnson, McDermott, Vassell, White, Young.
Wow. Basically the entire starting lineup minus Dejounte. That's absolutely crazy. You know what? Let's talk about this on the other side. This is halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Here we go.
The Dallas Cowboys live here all season long. Every snap.
I love it.
Every catch.
Let's go every day, huh?
Every touchdown. Plus, we'll give you the complete breakdown and preview of every game from our experts. Dallas Cowboys insiders and head coach Mike McCarthy. We're all fans.
Yeah! Yeah!
Hear the call from Brad Sham and the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. Right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
See the best of the best, the area's top high school senior players in the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by HEB. January 8th, 5 p.m. in the Alamo Dome. Current NFL pros Marcus Davenport and Josh Reynolds played here. It's the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game following the All-American Bowl. 2 games for $10 in the lower bowl. On sale now at the Dome box office or Ticketmaster. Sponsored by HEB, the U.S. Army, Valero, University Health, Enzira, Thomas J. Henry, PM Group, Whataburger, and Frost.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
With the Peloton bike, there's always something new to try. We're adding new music to our artist series, new disciplines like boxing.
Fight your way through. Let's make it count.
So many new workouts to try on and off the bike.
Let's go, Peloton family.
There's always something new to keep you motivated. For a limited time, get a $550 value on the Peloton Bike Plus. $300 off plus free delivery and setup, a $250 value. All access membership separate. Limited time offer until January 9, 2022. Free delivery only available in continental U.S. Terms apply.
I know you've been waiting a little bit longer than normal.
Jen's manicure spot needs an extra pair of hands.
Who's at the front desk right now?
Someone who's handy with everything from nail files to spreadsheet files.
Deidre's not coming in today, but we have that whole bachelorette party.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, there is a nice piece of stock music playing behind me that a talented composer worked really hard on. So let's enjoy it. Wow, almost overshadows the saving big when you switch to Progressive part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pie customer.
Workers' comp can crush a small business,
every year it would jump 5, 10, 15, 20%, even though there was never any claims. And that's where I was struggling as a growing business.
That's Mike Lozier, owner of Gutter Plumber, a small business in New Jersey. A while back, Mike found his workers' comp costs rising. Luckily, he discovered Pi Insurance.
From start to finish, it was extremely easy. They quickly came back to me with a plan that was affordable for me.
Are you overpaying for workers' comp? Just go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle or hidden fees. Like Mike, we think you'll be glad you did.
I'm very happy that I moved over to Pi for my workers' comp so that I can grow my company while not breaking the bank.
Find out how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Giving you an excuse for a long lunch break. This is Halftime with Michael Jimenez on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome back to Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. Now, earlier we were talking about how the Spurs snapped a 4-game losing streak last night in Boston. Great win. But, man, some brutal news coming in right now. Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 reporting that the Spurs got hit hard with COVID. Here are the players who are now out against the 76ers. Keldon Johnson, Doug McDermott, Devin Vassell, Derek White, Thad Young. Those 5 players are out. Lonnie Walker was already out. And, man, we're talking about having only 8 or 9 players now. And Dejounte Murray is now back from COVID protocol. But, man, Rob, this is devastating. This might just end the year for the Spurs.
Oh, well, yeah, but the good news is they sit in 10th. The better news is everybody else is dealing with the same. We lost to a Detroit team that looks a lot like the Spurs team that they're going to have to field tonight. So it is doable if you've got a little bit of want to. It's not going to happen. I don't know. What is the cutoff? 7 guys? 8 guys?
Well, the cutoff
what is the cutoff where they go? You can't field the team.
You need to have 8 players. 8 players on the roster. And like the Miami Heat a couple of weeks ago when they were playing the Spurs, when the game got canceled at the AT&T Center, they were trying to sign guys from Austin, from the Austin Spurs, to come on up because they're like, hey, you guys are just an hour away. Come on in, play with the team, right? So the Spurs are going to be in that situation right now where we're going to have to pick up a couple of players at the very, very least. Because, man, we're talking about the vast majority of the starting lineup. Keldon Johnson, Derek White, McDermott was already out. I mean, we're talking about 3/5 of the starting lineup. The Spurs had Pirtle was out earlier this year. Dejounte Murray was out. This has impacted basically the vast majority of this team. Absolutely crazy. But, man, the Spurs right now are in the midst of a really long road trip. We've got Philadelphia. We've got the Brooklyn Nets. We have the Knicks coming up before coming home. So, man, those L's are going to start stacking up.
You sit in 10th place, which I think is about where you expect it to be. Pop picks up his 2,000th regular season last night, 6th place all time for games coached. They're completely on schedule. We know that when this team is together, they're not bad. When we have a fully functioning 6 guys, 7 guys, they're capable of, they're capable of beating everybody once, and probably at least one playoff team 3 or 4 times when they're all together. But we're not going to see that for a couple of weeks. And at the same time, we're getting closer and closer to the trade deadline. We still haven't seen Zach Collins.
This team
you wonder how much. Where do you focus your next best effort? Is it for this season or next?
Well, I would hope that it's next, and I've been saying this all year long. Because I want the Spurs to get a good lottery pick. So this could be a blessing in disguise in a weird way because if the Spurs pick up some L's, they fall off. You're right. They're the 10th spot in the West, which would get them in the play-in tournament. But they're also 2 games away from being one of the 5 worst teams in the NBA. It's a very thin margin of error there. You're so close.
Hey, your glass is half full if you're looking that way. Mine's half full.
Well,
Yours is
yeah.
half empty.
But I mean, think about it, man. The Spurs have 3 very difficult games coming up. They won a game yesterday, which was amazing. It was one of their best wins of the year. They have 3 games they're probably going to lose in the next few games. They come back home for a homestand, and then, man, in February they're going to have the rodeo road trip. This season might slip away sooner than later, and at some point we're going to have to look at this and go, well, what's the best direction for this team? Because as you mentioned, the trade deadline's coming up. Is Thad Young going to be part of that? Are the Spurs going to actually get something for him? Are we going to be buyers or sellers? And it's just very weird because this entire season we're going to be one foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot close to 10th spot, 1 foot out, and as in we're close to a top 5 lottery pick, before the ping pong balls are selected. It's very fascinating right now, but I'm thinking to myself right now, well, man, who does this leave? Does this mean that we have a Dejounte Murray, Joshua Primo backcourt to start the next game?
That's what we'll start.
Yeah, so, Yaka will be the center. Who are we going to have down low? I mean, we're going to have,
Eubanks and Jock.
Eubanks and Jock. I mean, what a weird lineup. I've been wanting to see Pirtle and Jock together. I've been wanting to see if they can have a Twin Towers type of thing going on. But, man, we don't have much left. And it's going to be a very interesting next couple of weeks. Again, might be a blessing in disguise in many ways. But we'll see a lot of Primo. We'll see a lot of Wieskamp. It's the young guys are going to have to go out there and ball out if the Spurs are going to win it all.
They're exactly where they thought they would be. I mean, this is through all the chaos, they're sitting in 10th place. This is a 10th place team. They're exactly where they belong. They're exactly where they should be. They're a sub 500, nearly playoff team. And over the next 2 weeks, this could be, you call it a blessing in disguise possibly, but I look at it for another reason. You can steal some basketball games here. They're not the only ones that are dealing with this. If you can just get a little bit of continuity with 3 or 4 guys here, you can hit the road and win some basketball games that you should not have won against guys that you won't have to face. So this is, if I'm Pop, I look at this as an opportunity. Look, I don't need a whole bunch of G League guys. Can you 6-7 guys give me 2 games? If you can give me 2 games and we can go get these things, I think we'll all be better off and hang right around where we should be, right at the 10th, and an opportunity to play in and get yourself into a play-in series or a playoff series, which is where the Spurs should probably go, and end up drafting between 12 and 18, somewhere back in there. And that's where I think the Spurs plan is, despite all the chaos. They're sitting in 10th.
They're sitting in 10th right now, and they will forever be close to it because Sacramento is not going to run away with a good record. Minnesota isn't either, and neither is Portland or Oklahoma City. Because of that, the Spurs will always be within shouting distance of that 10th spot. But, man, if you told me that the Spurs are going to be picking 12 through 18, I'd rather jump off a building than have that happen, man. Come on, man. I want to see the Spurs out there somewhere around 4 to 8. Get me a number 4 through 8 pick because we do well with lottery picks, man. The Spurs' history of lottery picks don't have a lot of history with it, but what have we done in the past? We've had David Robinson, we've had Sean Elliott, Tim Duncan, Devin Vassell, Joshua Primo. Those are the 5 lottery picks, and those 5 have either hit or, in the sense of Primo, the jury's still out there, but it's still trending upwards, man. We do well when we get in the lottery. Why not?
Hey,
as Spurs fans,
this is our chance. Everybody who's crying for Primo, everybody who's crying for the young guys to get minutes, here it comes. Here it comes.
Well, I mean, Tony Parker was that way, right? Tony Parker was 19 years old when he was first with the Spurs, and they brought him out there. Now, he had Speedy Claxton in front of him.
Yeah, he had guys around him.
Guide the way. He had some veteran leadership out there. Obviously, he had Tim out there. Obviously, he had Robinson out there. But man, I'm excited to see Primo out there. Wieskamp, I mean, the guy did very well in the G League, man. So it's interesting to see what's going to be out there. I don't expect the Spurs to win, but they can win in the sense that they get minutes for their guys. It might not show up in the standings as a win, but man, if we get Primo out there to get some serious minutes against the Nets, against the Knicks, again, it's just a measuring stick. But not only so, again, for those of you who did not hear those breaking news, the Spurs have several players who have entered health and safety protocol because of COVID. Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Derek White, and Thad Young. Doug McDermott was already out. And as we mentioned yesterday's game, Dejounte Murray came back from health and safety protocol yesterday. But man, not only with the Spurs, but the Cowboys as well. Tyron Smith, the Pro Bowl left tackle, he
and
is
Larry
now
Brown
tested positive for COVID. Anthony Brown too. This is a crazy time, man.
Yeah, and that's why, man, when you get the opportunity to go get it, when you get the opportunity to go get a win like the Spurs can, and you can beat a team that is going to be ravaged like this, make hay, man. I'm for the GMs now in the NBA who are willing to make a play to go get it now. Go get it now, because you have no idea. You're probably not going to see LeBron and Anthony Davis at the end of the road. You're probably not going to see it.
Yeah.
So why not swing for the fences and hope for the best?
Come on, baby. Just give me something for Thad Young, man. I don't care if it's the 28th pick. Just give me a little something, man. That's all I ask for. All I ask.
Ben Simmons.
And all I ask for is if anybody has $90,000 they can lend me. I have fallen in love with some RVs out here. We're going to talk about the RV show that's here at the Freeman Coliseum, and we'll put a bow on the show. This is halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The biggest game in the college football season. Number 3 Georgia will square off with number 1 Alabama in the College Football National Championship. Live Monday night at 7. Presented by Ewald Kubota on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I'm James Pudger, and in the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs snapped a 4-game losing streak with a 99-97 win over the Boston Celtics. Dejounte Murray returned to action as he led the Spurs with 22 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds. Devin Vassell added 17 and Keldon Johnson 13 as the Spurs improved to 15-22 on the year. With the win, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich made NBA coaching history, becoming just the 6th head coach to have coached 2,000 career games, passing George Karl. He is now 2 games back of Larry Brown for 5th on the all-time list. In college hoops, the 25th-ranked Texas Tech Bears fell in their conference opener to 11th-ranked Iowa State 51-47. While in the NFL, Dallas Cowboys star rookie linebacker Micah Parsons was placed on the reserve COVID-19 list yesterday, putting his status in jeopardy for Saturday night's game against the Eagles, a game you can catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star. I'm James Pledger.
And Doug. Don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is a library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
It really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Peloton is bringing so much new for the new year. With the Peloton Bike, you get access to new classes and new artist series. Punch up your power with Peloton Boxing. Work out to your favorite music with 100-plus artist series classes. For a limited time, experience it all with a $550 value offer on the Peloton Bike Plus, including $300 off the Bike Plus and free setup and delivery. A $250 value. Terms apply. Learn more at onepeloton.com.
Deep breaths. Mai's virtual meditation studio has never been busier.
Imagine not working.
They need a remote assistant to realign their scheduling.
Blank calendar. Sorry. Back to your breath.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Make calls, schedule virtual interviews, and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you love your garage? Can you get your cars and the kids' bikes in? Jason Minix here for Garageization, your garage storage solution. With a variety of shelving, overhead racks, slat walls, and closed cabinet options, Garageization can make your garage functional for the entire family. Call 210-664-4494 and have them give you a free customized plan for your family's needs. For over a decade, Garageization has helped people love their garage. Learn more online at GarageOrganizationSanAntonio.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it going to work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Which teams are postseason bound? Which teams will screw the pooch and blow their chance? Which will get in with a miracle win? And how could COVID mess everything up? Get the latest from around the league and stay connected. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Max Kellerman on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rudolph Renee reaches out to us on Facebook Live and says, there is no prospect in the next draft that is going to make us better. There's no Duncan, no Robinson. That is not the point. There's a Paolo Banchero out there. There's a Jabari Smith. There's a Chet Holmgren. There are quality players out there in the draft that are available. The days of having a Tim Duncan who spent 4 years in college, or David Robinson, that doesn't exist anymore. We have to draft on potential, but man, there's some pretty good players in college right now.
There's four or five that are legitimate all-stars waiting to happen.
Yeah.
There's another 10 or 15 that are, you're going on potential. And I think the Spurs are going to be drafting on potential, but they're not going to get into that top 4 or 5 no matter what they do. They're not racing to the bottom.
Well, that's the
like
thing, though.
others.
They're not racing to the bottom, but unfortunately, being in the middle gets you nowhere in the NBA. It's a race to the top or a race to the bottom.
No, you're right. But the good news is lots of money free agent-wise. They have been very judicious in making sure they've got lots of money to spend. They passed on some guys that they probably would have been able to use. I think Lowry Markkanen would have been somebody that if they'd have just ponied up a little bit, they'd have ended up getting him, and they just didn't want to pay him. So on the other side of the draft pick is the age. And I think we've proven that this young team can win. They just need a little bit of veteran savvy in the gaps. That's the answer, is stay healthy, whittle away those that really aren't going to have any potential, and go spend your money for in the right places, which won't happen at the trade deadline. It'll happen in the offseason.
Even if there isn't somebody there that they want, having a 5 or a 6 pick is draft capital. That's something that you can trade. So if you have the cap
I'd love to
space
be there,
and
but Mike, we're not going to get there. We're not going to be fall to a number 5 or rise to a number 5, depending on how you look at it. Draft pick is just not in the cards.
We're a game and a half away, man. We're a game and a half away.
But we aren't
we're
racing to the bottom.
We're a bad rodeo road trip away.
No, you're exactly right. But the idea of the season is different. The Spurs, if it's close, are going to try to win it. There's no reason not to. Sacramento and the bottom feeders, if it's close, they're going to try to lose it. So we're only a game and a half or 2.5 games away from the bottom, but they're racing down there. They're keeping that buffer in play. Spurs will go to Boston and win one. Sacramento's not going to fall half-assed into a win in Boston. Let me tell you, it's just not going to happen.
Well, that was a good win last night. But again, the Spurs have lost a lot of players today due to COVID, health and safety protocols. Devin Vassell being one of them, Keldon Johnson, Derek White, Thad Young, Doug McDermott was already out. So we'll talk more about that during the Blitz at 4 o'clock with Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix. But man, we have been go ahead.
On Monday, the Blitz is going to be out at the Rue Pub for the national championship game. I'm calling all of our Sports Star people that are available to be there. We're all going to be hanging out for Joe's first road outing there at the Roo Pub there at 281 for the national championship game. A fine outing. You want to go meet Joe and hang out with Rudy and Mike and everybody. Come out to the Roo Pub on Monday night. And James Pledger is going to take the day off on Monday and will be fresh and eager to go and
I was
have a good
basically
time at the Roo
told
Pub.
I have the day off.
I took his helmet.
I'll be out there too. I'll be out there
Yes,
too.
you
But
will.
Rob knows this. You got to let the wifey know a little bit. By the way,
that's why
on
why
Monday,
I'm saying it now.
On Monday,
You've got a good buffer.
I've got work things to do.
It's a work assignment, and I'll write you a note.
Yeah, she goes, the Roo, so you're going to be drinking? I'm like, well, that's what Uber's for. So
That's what we do.
The South Texas RV Super Sale is going on right now at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. That's where I've been all morning long. This has been fun out here, man. I'm just living the life over here, living the dream. Lots of people are showing up over here. A lot of them obviously want to go glamping, want to enjoy their retirement years. But man, you mentioned earlier, Rob, that this wasn't cool back in the day, but now it is. Mm-hmm. Is it cool for a certain age group, or do you think that maybe someone who's very successful in their 30s or 40s would love this?
I think anybody who's been trying to vacay, go someplace and not been able to, RV's the fix, man. You control your own destiny there.
There's going to be a free educational seminar here on Friday and Saturday at 10:30 called 5 Things You Need to Know Before Buying an RV. Again,
Yes,
Jason and Joe are coming up with the Blitz at 4 o'clock. This has been fun. This is halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star. I'll be back here tomorrow on ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Omicron has caused games to be postponed, stopped, and rescheduled. The NBA, NHL, NFL, and college hoops have all been affected by Omicron, leaving us fans high and dry.
It's